Hey guys, Michelle from Michelle's Craft Corner here, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to make these two awesome cards, very beach inspired, using the new stamp set Beachy Little Christmas. Let's get started. So here's a close-up of the two cards we're going to be making today. The video I'm actually going to be making this one, but I'm going to show you what colors I used to do this one. They're pretty much the same for the colors that I colored the house and the little palm trees with. But didn't they turn out so cute? Really like this set, being a Florida girl and all. So of course this is using our new stamp set from the holiday catalog, Beachy Little Christmas. Isn't that so awesome? We've got the tree with just the seashells. Just a really great stamp set for anybody near the beach or that likes the beach and Christmas. So available in wood and clear. Today we're going to be using the clear. We're also going to be using, for that little touch of background, the hardwood stamp set. I love this one. And of course we're going to be doing a lot of coloring. I'm going to do some fast coloring for the video. But for these cards I used a couple of different colors. I tried to focus on the in colors, specifically the newer ones and the ones that are a little older. And I also used the neutrals. Oh, where's my post-it? Nope. Oh, there it is. Okay. The neutrals marker set as well, specifically the shades of Soft Suede and Crumb Cake. But it's really good to have that neutral set, so if you want all 8, including the black, early espresso, chocolate chip, that's a really good one. And then just in general, the marker sets are really awesome. They have just a nice variety of colors, no matter what family you pick. This is the Regals set. So alternatively, if you didn't have some of these specific colors, you can use just about any of the marker sets to really make the card your own. And if you are like me and absolutely love coloring and coloring markers, then you can definitely take the plunge and just buy them all. So the full set of Stampin' Up! Markers is currently $110. Gives you 38 markers, and do keep in mind that those can be re-inked, so they're not a one-time throw out use kind of thing. You can buy the little bottles of re-inker and re-ink them, and they will last you quite a while. So thankfully I haven't had to do that yet, and you guys know how much coloring I do. So those are all the different marker info. So gotta love the Stampin' Up! Markers. Alright, the other thing we're going to be using is a couple of dimensionals. Sorry, this is the edge of a sheet, but we only need 4 for hitting the corners. And you can do the regular dimensionals or the mini, the new tiny ones. We're also going to be doing a little bit of sponging today with our Stampin' Sponges, just kind of hitting the edges and that background. So there's the pack of Stampin' Up! Sponges, which I wedge out into smaller sections to do my sponging. So one pack of 3 will really last you quite a while. Alright, our paper card base is Crumb Cake today, and we're going to be using a piece of Whisper White to stamp on. Our ink colors, we're going to be stamping in the Basic Black Archival to get those basic images down. For our background wood grain, we're going to be doing the Early Espresso. And we're going to be sponging with a little bit of Crumb Cake today for that sandy shore look, and just for a little bit on the edge. Alright, you guys got all of that? Ready to rock and roll? Alright. So we're going to start with our Crumb Cake base. I already have it pre-cut. We're just going to go ahead and fold that over there. And we've got our piece of Whisper White cardstock. Now this is cut at 5 inches by 3 3/4. Okay. And actually, let's go ahead and do the background first. So for this one, I'm using the giant hardwood stamp set. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, love, love, love this guy. So what we're going to do is take our Early Espresso Stampin' Pad, And because the stamp set is so big, it's easier to do the ink pad to the stamp set than vice versa. So we're just going to take that and ink it up. Now you won't see the whole stamp, so you don't have to go super heavy on it if you don't want to. Just be sure to hit the edges that are going to be seen the most. Alright, we're going to just take this guy and flip him and just stamp him right on the top. Now because I have small hands and it's big, sometimes I like to press the stamp set with my forearm just to give it good center pressure. But yet again, since we're only seeing the edges, you don't have to press that hard. And sorry if I'm shaking the camera. Right, ta-da! Here we go, lovely wood grain look. Move that off to the side. And then, of course, I really always like to hit it with a little bit more color. So just taking that espresso ink pad and my little sponge, we're just going to add some ink there and just kind of brush the edges a little bit. I think it really makes it pop, looks a little more weathered. Just takes a second and just a really nice effect. Also, if you kind of miss an edge a little bit, you can kind of hide it. I meant to do that. Alright, just gonna get a little brush here. Just see how that just pops with just a little bit of ink on there. Just like that. Alright, you can see when you add your white, you're only going to see that little bit of that edge. Okay. So now we have our background done. So quick, so easy. Alright, I'm going to move the ink pad over there. Now we're going to move on to our basic black and stamping our background. Now whether you're going for the pink house or the green house or any other color combination that you think would look awesome colored, all starts the same. We've got our little house on a block with the basic black. And I'm just going to stamp it straight in the center. Now you don't want to do it on the bottom because if you do it around the bottom you won't have room to stamp your sentiment. So try to hit it about in the center. And it is not an exact science here. And straight up. Here we go. Oh, that one's a little crooked, but that's okay. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and grab our trees. Now for the trees, I like to kind of have it popping off the corners. So the first one just hitting the two bottom corners, just kind of like that. Now if you want, you can have it flowing more straight up, just kind of however you would like. Just stamping from those two corners first, and then the top two are just kind of peeking just off the edge. So we're not doing the whole palm tree, we're just getting mainly the top half. Stamping that. Same thing on the other side, kind of do it a flip. And just stamp like that. So now we have our basic stamped. And see, it doesn't look super exciting now, although I do kind of like the layout. But once we pop it with some color, it's really just going to shine. Now for the pink one, I used a couple different colors. Now, of course, I wanted to focus on the wonderful new in colors. So for the house, the back base of the house, I did this wonderful new shade. This is powder pink. And so that's for the background of the house. I'll just go like that. There we go. And then for the door, I used the wonderful new Berry Burst. So that kind of gave the door kind of a good pop. And then for the roof and the shutters and accents, I used this shade from the 2016-2018. This is the Sweet Sugar Plum, which I absolutely love this color. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous color. So really they contrast and complement each other really, really well. So those are the three colors that I used for this particular house. Now for the palm tree, I used the new Lucky Limeade, which is a really nice bright green. And that's just for all the little palms. And then for the tiny little, I don't know how well this will show up. Here we go, zoom in here. For the little Christmas lights on the trees. Now it's such a tiny dot that I actually was able to use the Berry Burst. Now it's so small it almost looks kind of red to me, but even if it is pink, it does kind of coordinate with the pink of the house. So that's what the tiny little Christmas light dots are. And I didn't do all of them, I kind of spaced them out doing every other. Okay, and then for the palm trees, I used 2 of those shades from the neutrals. I used the soft suede for the coconuts, so a little darker on the coconuts. And then I used the crumb cake for the base. Okay. You guys have got all of those colors handy. So I'm going to do some speed coloring here and just sit and color this out so you guys can see how I did it. And then I will tell you what colors I used for the greenhouse and we'll go from there. You guys are ready? Here we go. And there you have the finished coloring. And you can go back and highlight certain areas if you want to make them a little darker by adding more color. But you guys get the idea. So for this green one, right here, you show you what colors I used for that one. So for the base of that one, I did the Lucky Limeade, not Lucky Limeade, Lemon Lime Twist, excuse me, again for the base of that one. And then I also used the new Tranquil Tide for the roof and the base. And then for the door, I used Emerald Envy. So these are all from those 2 sets of the In Colors. To color the little light bulbs instead of the pink, I went with the green for this, and I also used the Emerald Envy to color the little dots. So those are the only differences between the 2. Okay, so now we've got our piece colored. We're going to go ahead and throw a little bit more ink on there with some sponging. So I'm going to grab my crumb cake, ink pad here. And I like to add a little bit of sand just kind of going up to the house so it's not floating in midair. It kind of doesn't really work, you know. So just add a little bit on the edges too. Give it a little pop. You could also do the espresso if you prefer. It'll be a little darker. Okay, I'm trying not to shake the camera here. Doing the air. Okay, so this one's going to be a little different than my other one, but you get the same idea. So same kind of effect. All right, and then to stamp our Have Yourself a Beachy Little Christmas, I'm going to use that stamp set from the same set, and I'm going to go ahead and use the Early Espresso again. If you prefer, you could do the basic black instead. Both will work. All right, and we're just going to stamp that in the center. Oh, there we go. Well, got my thumb, but that's okay. Card is still good. Try that again. All right, I'm just gonna stamp in the center just below the house. Just like that on the sand. Go. Alright, move that ink pen out of the way. So now we are almost done. So we're just going to take our card base that we stamped and add our house on top with some dimensionals, which I put here. Now, handy thing to know with the dimensionals, a lot of people, especially new crafters, may not realize that these edges, you can totally use the edges just like you would the circles. So while it looks like I have hardly any left on this sheet, I can totally just tear that off, and it works just as well as the little hex. Same thing with the little lines. Sometimes a line can actually be a little more useful than the hex, just depending on what you're trying to stick down. But just keep in mind, you can use all those pieces from the sheet, so don't throw it out with the edges still on there. You can totally use those. That would not be the first time we've heard stories. Alright, so we've got those on there. We're just going to peel off the backs. You could definitely dress this card up with some twine if you wanted to. Put it upside down. Different ribbon. Good to go pink card base. A lot of different things. So there's our basic card. Stick another piece of Whisper White, the 5x3 3/4 in the center to write a note on. I want to also show you a couple other different color options I was playing with. These aren't on cards yet, but just some different ideas. Zoom in here. So you could go red and green with the Christmas lights instead of just doing one color. And this was me trying to mix some of the house colors. Another fun idea with the same stamp set, and I did smudge this a little bit, so ignore the smudge, but you can stamp all the way and make a kind of fun border with those Christmas trees. Do a nice sentiment inside. This one's not mounted yet, but will be shortly. And this is another one with that house. I just decided to go kind of a white house base, the green. And this one is just more pinks and oranges, so a little more brighter. And then for these, I tried doing the Christmas lights with the yellow, the Peekaboo Peach, I believe. So lots of different options. So I hope you guys liked this tutorial, and you have fun making Beachy themed Christmas cards. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.